Hello conspiracy fans, today we will talk about the main topic, Ed and Eddy. I have two theories about them, their possible purgatory and the Double D's hat. Don't forget to like and share it. Let's start. So, Ed and Eddy is a Canadian-American animated series that is formerly the longest running cartoon that was on Cartoon Network from 1999 to 2009. There are many theories that to this popular series. We will talk about the Purgatory theory and the Double D's hat theory. So, this theory for Ed and Eddy poses the possibility on whether or not the kids that inhabited the cul-de-sac are actually dead, and that the cul-de-sac in which they reside in actually takes place in a purgatory-like setting. This theory points to facts such as the children's green or blue tongues. The tongue does in fact turn a bluish shade when you die. The lack of adults, the endless summer, and the small isolated cul-de-sac that comprises almost their whole world. According to the theory, the children of the cul-de-sac actually came from different time periods, ranging from the early 19th to the late 2000s. This theory also explains why the year for the show is very hard to pinpoint, and also explains the answer as to why there aren't any adults in the show, even though you do usually catch a glimpse of one every now and then. According to the theory, Rolf came first in the 19th. His family had moved to Beach Creek in order to establish a farm on his land. Rolf died in 1903 when his family's farm animals stampeded and trampled him. This was the supposed reason as to why he only has one cow, one goat, a few pigs, and a few chickens, not enough animals to cause a fatal stampede in the afterlife. Johnny came next to the cul-de-sac not too long after Rolf's death. Having no friend, Johnny took a marker and drew a face on a piece of wood and dubbed it Plunk. He died in 1922 after fighting a long battle with tuberculosis. He took his friend Plunk with him in the afterlife since he was the last thing that he saw in life before he died. Eddy came next. He was born in New York but eventually moved to Beach Creek during the Great Depression era. Always trying to get a quick buck, he always set up scams to get money from the cul-de-sac kids. After one of his scams went awry, Eddy was chased by the swindled children of the cul-de-sac and ran to the lake and jumped into it. Eddy ends up drowning in that lake and he soon joined the other deceased children in the afterlife. Even though he is no longer alive, Eddy still tried to chase after the almighty dollar by continuing his swindling nature in the afterlife. Ed and Sarah were the next to arrive to the cul-de-sac. Their father had died fighting in World War II, and as a result their mother became distant and disconnected. To try and compensate, Sarah developed her bossy attitude, trying to fill the role their mother and father used to fill. Before their father died and their mother stopped caring, Ed, however, shut the world out and delved into the fantasy worlds of comic books and monster movies in order to escape his unhappy life. They both died in a freak car accident in 1953, thus joining the past kids in death. Ed or Double D was born in the 18th time period, which is around the time that technology is advancing, and was raised by very strict and controlling parents who pushed him to both succeed academically and to be perfectly cleanly and neat. He is believed to say who have either died as a result of a gas leak causing an explosion with a Bunsen burner from his chemistry set. Kevin was born the day Double D died. He was born to a broken down house, and he also had an abusive father. Because of his situation at home, Kevin would act his frustration out on the other children of the cul-de-sac, becoming a bully as a result to cope with his pain. One night in the winter of '99, his father fatally beat him in a fit of drunken rage, and he died while he was on his way to the hospital. His father was then convicted of his murder, and he was sentenced to life in prison. When Kevin entered into the afterlife, he reimagined his father as loving and that he will shower him in gifts. He still kept his bowling ways in the afterlife, however. Jimmy was the last child to enter into the cul-de-sac. He was born in the 2000s and was diagnosed with leukemia. He was never associated himself with the other cul-de-sac children because his parents believed he was too frail to be around to the other kids, and he remained bedridden for the remainder of his life because of this fact. After fighting a long, difficult battle with his leukemia, Jimmy eventually succumbed to his illness, and soon the cul-de-sac purgatory was complete. The Cankers were different from the other neighborhood children. It is believed that they are actually demons that were sent to the cul-de-sac to torment the souls of the remaining children who didn't cross over to heaven. The Cankers are the only characters with normal colored tongues, which would seem to indicate that they are not dead and that therefore they must be something different. Surprisingly, the Cankers are attracted to the Edds for unknown reasons. However, one common guess is that they are the weakest-willed children of the cul-de-sac, or because they each symbolize a certain deadly sin. So that was the purgatory theory. Now, what's under Double D's hat? There are many theories surrounding Double D's trademark sock hat and the mystery behind what could just be under it. Many viewers believe that he was deformed from birth and that he either has an ear underneath his hat or a deformed twin. This belief stems from multiple occurrences in the show in which Double D is shown without his hat on. For example, in the TV movie for the series Ed, Edd'n Eddy's Big Picture Show, Double D loses his hat after he and his friends fell off of a giant waterfall. Eddie mockingly acts as though he was horrified by what was under his friend's hat, and Ed also asked Double D if whatever was under his hat hurt. Unfortunately for the viewer, Ed's hat is obscured during this scene, and the viewer doesn't get to find out what the big reveal was. Many people also believe that Ed is either bald or has blonde hair. This theory most likely stems from the Cartoon Network video game entitled Lunchroom Rumble. If you were to play as Ed and were also able to beat the game, the Ed sprite would then proceed to take off its hat and throw it into the air in triumph. However, this is actually false because the computer game wasn't produced by the animation studio, aka Cartoon, and therefore is not canonical to the main series. The idea about the Double D having blonde hair is also false because Double D clearly has 3 strands of black hair on the back of his hat, and therefore this theory is also debunked. It seems like we'll never know what's under Double D's hat.